It's a beautiful day. And today I have one of the best people in the world. Can you tell us who you are?
Anwar Salim, I'm the executive director of 8th Street, Main Street, over here in Northeast Washington, D.C.
Okay, and can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Well, I guess basically I was born in the area, many years ago, a whole lot of years ago. I went from some black to gray hair real quick.
Hey, it is
And,
what it is on that one.
and when I was a kid, I guess we looked at 8th Street, and 8th Street was just vibrant, quarter. You can go down there and get anything you want from jewelry to sports stuff to Chuck Levitt's, pawn stores. You want Botany 500 suits and Shopskin and all the rest. You can get all that stuff back then.
Right.
Anything you wanted, you can get. But then later on, the riots took place in 1968, and 8th Street, went to the pits, and Dr. King riots, and after that, it took a while for 8th Street for a rebirth. The banks redlined 8th Street. Many of the people who owned businesses took flight to the suburbs. At the same time, you had the invention of the malls, and many people began to go out to the malls, and so it left 8th Street basically hanging. And a lot of people who basically who frequent 8th Street or worked on 8th Street as guards or salespeople, they end up being a manager, end up owning those stores because the owners didn't want them.
See, now I only thought, well, I'm not from D.C., but I thought that the riots was only like 14th Street. I didn't know it was 8th Street.
No,
as
8th
well.
Street, 8th Street was devastated,
Wow.
but one of the most beautiful things that happened out of it, although it was devastated, for the first time it gave black businesses
To have
a chance to really get involved in the economy,
Right.
at a larger scale by owning a business.
Right.
And
right.
you already had an area where you had a lot of teachers and people who work at Union Station and places like that. But, now you get a chance to run a shoe store, clothing store, and you get a chance at the same time, now you can afford the monies to send your kid to college. So you get a chance to really take part of the new economy back then.
Yeah. Because I happened to stop one day because I needed some hair products. Went into the hair place. Just knew I was going to see some Chinese lady. And it was a black guy. And I was like, what? I said, do you own this? And he was like, yeah. I said, get out. I said, from now on, I don't care what it is. When I need it, I am going to come. Because I would rather give my money to black people, point blank, period, than give it to, I won't say the other people. But,
well, I look at it this way. I have one of my guys that I mentored as my summer worker. He started WeBuyBlack.com, so you probably hear about that. And he's doing very well. He moved from D.C. to Atlanta. His father owned Peppermint paint truck. You see a paint truck that floated around D.C. and he painted a lot of apartments and all down here.
Okay.
But I think that that we have a chance to really get involved in this economy at a stronger scale. We're the same people who basically work to build this country. We work to build this country, and everybody else reap the benefit. But I think now it's time for us to really hold our hands together and reap benefits and financial, economic benefits.
Yes.
See, but I think it'd be a problem and a tragedy if we do the same thing that the oppressor did to us. They pushed us out, and I think it'd be a tragedy for us to push them out. The bottom line is, I think that we need everybody's money.
Exactly.
And if you need everybody's money, that's the only way you're going to make it. Do we have enough in our portfolio to really sustain the wealth that we really need? We have to reach our arms wider, and we are forgiving people, and we are very creative people at the same time. And most of the styles and the music and everything else, you look at it, the basis come from our spirit.
Yes.
And so why should we give it away by discriminating when we should say, look, everything you have to a certain degree, it's from our blood, sweat, and tears to a certain degree. There's some relationship there somewhere. So we really have to find a way to hold hands, but at the same time be aware of the things that happen. That don't mean you have to hate anybody. We don't have to hate. We don't have to hate folks who hated us. We don't have to do that. But we can open our hearts because we have a lot of love in us.
Right.
And we have to find a way to reap the benefits from the whole.
Right. Because you had your birthday party a couple of weeks ago in the Atlas.
Well,
Is that
really,
the name?
Atlas Performing Arts Center, it really wasn't supposed to be a birthday party. You guys surprised me. It was supposed to have been a sponsorship party for those who really came together to really help make 8th Street
See, now
what it is.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
And I didn't even know I had been past it. I've walked through it. I've knocked on the door to see what they was doing any hiring, but I've never gone in. And it's a real nice place.
Oh, it's nice. It's
really nice.
it's the neighborhood Kennedy Center. You know, so we don't have too many Kennedy Centers in this area.
Right.
You have a Kennedy Center everybody else go to, but for 8th Street, that's our Kennedy Center.
Oh, okay.
So
Didn't know
we really have to make the best that we can of it.
Yes.
You know, we have to find a way to make sure they get the monies and the finances to keep the theater up, and so that we can have a venue.
Right.
That we can show our talents.
Right.
And
right.
you don't have that in many neighborhoods, but we are fortunate enough to have that on 8th Street, and that's part of what making 8th Street, what it is, a strong destination that we are growing into.
Right. Right. Okay. So you are doing something today. So can you tell us about what's going on today on 8th Street?
Well, we have Art All Night just going on. It's about our 4th or 5th year, an Art All Night. It started basically in Shaw some years ago. Our venue basically has been the 8th Street Festival. That's what a lot of people know us from.
I like that.
We started from a block party, and the next thing you know, we had about 500 people, then 1,000 people, and next thing you know, we had 15,000 people. All of a sudden, you had 25 and 50,000 people. We reached up. We had 75 people that was coming through throughout the day, but now we have over 150,000 people that come to the 8th Street Festival.
Wow.
And people spend basically $6.1 million for that one day at the 8th Street Festival.
Good
You'd be surprised.
gracious.
$6.1 million is a lot
That
of
is
money
a
to spend.
lot.
The average person spends about $61. And that's not bad. The businesses triple. They double and triple and some quadruple their income for that day.
Right.
But we use the festival as a tool to really promote 8th Street.
Right.
And the growth that we have had.
And the different restaurants and things of that nature.
There you go. I mean, we
But-
have grown over, close to 200-300 businesses, new businesses on 8th Street, and we have hired or created over 3.6 thousand jobs, and that's huge.
Okay, so now I'm gonna be the sad side. Where are these jobs? Because I myself have been through some places trying to get hired. So how can a person who wants a job, where can they get a job?
But-
Is it only for the food section? Is it only for the restaurant? I mean, how would people reach out to be able to get a job?
When you look at the construction field, there's a lot of new buildings on
Right.
8th Street. If you look at the area, we have generated over $2.5 billion worth of new construction. So somebody had to work somewhere. Somebody had to get in a job to lay those bricks and to pull those wires. And some of the people look like us. I'm not going to say all of them, but some of the people did look like us. So, we have to fight for those positions.
did
We
look
really
like us. Yeah,
do.
there you go.
So we really have to fight for those positions. But you look at a lot of your cooks on 8th Street, a lot of store owners now are still African American. You have your restaurant owners and your servers and all. Most of them are African American.
Right.
So a lot of those jobs, really, when you go in these buildings, you see people who look like us in a lot of these buildings. So, we have that skill. We are very friendly people, really. If you really leave us alone and not try to mess with our head and all, we're really friendly people.
Mm-hmm.
And, and people want to come into a business or establishment, and they want to be treated right.
Oh,
And
well,
I think
yes,
we
of
have
course.
that natural ability in us to treat people right.
Right.
As long as you don't drug us up and mistreat us and mess with our mind and all the rest, when we are sane, when we are
Right.
treated right in a natural state, we are very good
Right. 'Cause
treating and well-known people.
I know a few of the owners. I know the owners of Elroy. I did know the owners of Half Note. Then up towards Giant, there's what is it? Oh my God, I can't even think of it. Egg Road, not egg. Anyway, I know a few of the owners. The guy who had the 12 Lounge. I don't know what happened to him. 'Cause
Oh,
I
Bernard, he's coming back as a barbecue place, so he's going to open up a barbecue place
Oh,
across
in
the
the same
street.
place?
Not in the same
Oh,
spot,
okay.
because one thing about, that's a whole nother story. When you take one of these buildings and you rehab them, and you really have to watch your leases, you have to watch your renewals, and you can go in there and you can put a whole lot of money in these buildings,
Then
and
you
once
lose it, right.
you'll lose it because you don't follow the
Protocol.
fine line in your
Right.
contract. And so,
And
technically, he had
did
another
the
10 years.
Roof
Yes.
and everything, and now he doesn't. And I'm like, what
Technically,
happened?
he had another 10 years on his lease, and when that time came, he missed a few days in saying, "I want to stay here." And when he went to the owner said, "No, you passed that deadline," and he wouldn't allow him to stay. He went to court, and the court said he had to honor that agreement.
Okay.
And so he missed it by a few days, and he had just put about a couple hundred more
I
thousand
saw
dollars
that. I
in
saw
that
that.
building. So we really have to. It's not just about doing business. We have to do our business, to do our due diligence when we sign these leases, to understand what these leases are saying, and when we have to really respond to certain
Right.
chapters in that lease in order to keep our business. Because when that time comes and they see they can get some more money, they're
Right.
going to push us out.
And
It's all business. It's all business. That's what it is.
I
We have to
wish
understand that.
that there was a way, like you got the half note, and then you have the club that used to be on the corner. They did really nice brunches. That's been closed for what, a year or two now.
Yes.
And then half note, give it a 6 months to a year. So let's just say hypothetically, I wanted to start a business. How is there like a means to go through the procedures to maybe get that particular that's the facility is too big for me, but for anybody that's out there, because to me, either A, the rent is too high, then you have to buy insurance for the place, then you have to have insurance for if anybody falls and hurt themselves. So there's so many things that you have to pay out. Is there any type of a H Street program to kind of help you if
Well-
you wanted to?
Well, really, when that time comes, you really should come see me.
You heard that.
I'm the executive director of H Street Main Street,
Okay.
and that's what we're here to do, to provide business, technical assistance. You have to have a business plan. You really, really want to think things out before you go in business. And that's what it's all about, because, you look at your rent, like you say, your insurance. You look at how much it costs for health care for your employees, how many
Yes.
employees you need, and all the rest. Your light bill, the water bill. You have to calculate all that stuff in, your taxes. And, all that type of stuff, you have to really calculate.
Yes.
Your slow days, you think, we going to business, well, I'm going to make so much money, they're going to love what I want. Well, what if they don't love what you want?
Exactly.
What if they only love half of what you have?
Right.
Then you have a half of a business plan that's being executed
Exactly.
instead of a whole. So
And
you have to
constantly be creative. Now, like
There
Elroy's,
you go.
for instance, I know them, and they are constantly, every time I see Facebook, they're constantly, Mondays this, Tuesdays that. Now, a lot of the other restaurants, and I'm not knocking any restaurant, I don't see that pushing, that drive. Is it because maybe, is there like a H Street app that maybe there's a listing of all the restaurants so you know what's going on Mondays?
Well, we have our new website. We just did a new website and built one, and it's called www.hstreet.org, and we list all the businesses. We try to keep it up to date, but you have so many businesses coming in, it's hard, you know. And what we want businesses to do is we want to look at their venues, what they have as specials and all. We're trying to create a portion of the website where they can go in and control some of their specials and things like that. Those are the type of things we're trying to be creative enough to do on A Street. So we are very much entrenched in technology, and we want to grow. But you can be entrenched, but if your business is not there with you, it don't make a difference. So we have to find a way to get our businesses to our office and say, let's sit down, let's look at this, and let's do something different. Let's do something creative, because it's that those quarters, the business quarters, that have that creative edge, that have the technological edge, that really going to draw the people. And that's what it's all about. All these young kids now, they are looking at their phone. Everything is being done by mobile apps. And, if you want a special, you have to be able to have that contact information and send that stuff out to them to draw them to your business. And if you don't have that database, you lose. Someone else gain that share. They capture that share.
Well, now I know when I went to California a couple of months ago, as soon as you walk into a restaurant, it pings your phone and allows you to know what's going on. And I noticed that when I went into one restaurant, all the other restaurants I was like, wait. It was so much stuff going on. So maybe that's one that you could maybe do. And then two, you know how they have, and I'm giving you ideas too, just so you can use them.
I'll take all the ideas.
Like when they have restaurant week,
right?
Why don't you do a H Street restaurant? Because I've noticed, and this is just me, I love restaurant week, and during that week I go everywhere. I didn't see anything on.
Well, we do. We have we do have some things for Restaurant Week, and you also have another one getting ready to come up called Black Restaurant Week that they formulate. And I don't know if you know Farad Tate and a few other people. So they're really doing some things to really do that. And they also have the bar hops that they deal with. So you have the Runners Club and all that come to H Street. So these things. See, one thing about H Street we have to be aware of is that the neighbors, when they have these volunteer agreements, they don't want you to do anything when it comes to bar hops or anything like that. They don't want anything like that. So we have to be really creative in how we get the patrons or the residents to come out to different businesses from one to another. So
Right.
we have to be very careful with that because these volunteer agreements really prohibits you from doing a lot of creative things that other neighborhoods do. So we have to be really conscious of that.
So do you feel that 8th Street is prohibited on a level of maybe Georgetown is not? Or are
It
all the areas the same, pretty
Matter of
much?
fact, Georgetown may have a little bit more leverage in what their bars can do versus 8th Street.
Right.
You know, when we first started, you know, we can just about do a lot of creative things. But when new residents come in, you know, they want to control what's happening in their quarter, not realizing or forgetting that they moved into an area
Exactly.
of a
Just
commercial district.
exactly.
And the first thing they want to do is to hurt those
Stop.
businesses. You know,
Right,
look
and
at Ben's Chili Bowl is a real good example on the corner of 10th and 8th Street, where they really wanted to be creative and do some things upstairs. And they couldn't have any music. They couldn't have anything outside on certain days and all. And so that hurt their income. That hurt the draw that they could really have. So you wonder why Ben's upstairs is not as vibrant as it is on U Street. It's
Right.
because of those. It's because of those voluntary agreements. Those voluntary agreements really hurt these businesses. So you know, I like what the mayor did by establishing a nightlife and all the rest. But now you have to go back, and I think the city should look at some of these volunteer agreements and say, look, are they really legal? Can you really
Exactly.
enforce these things? Is it really hurting people chance to really make an income and,
Right.
and promote what DC is really all about, especially in the commercial neighborhood? Come on, sometimes I think this thing go a little bit too far.
Well, just not even to cut you off, but just like what was that? Florida and right there with Howard University, that particular building on the corner would play go-go music
Right.
every day, and then here comes the flavored people who come in and they want to change that. So yeah, they changed it for a minute, but do you see how the city came together on that?
Right, the city came together, which I think is real nice. DC is known for go-go, and hip-hop is known for that. And but I guarantee you, if we played rock or hard rock, you know, the same people probably would have never opened up their doors to come outside. They probably been shaking in the rooms. But you know, some go-go is DC, and DC is go-go, and that's what really made DC. But to look at that, you know, we have at Out All Night, what's going on tonight.
Okay, yeah,
And
tell us about that.
at the Starburst, you know, it's really a piece out of Louis Blanc in Paris, and you have it, you know, out all night throughout the country.
Okay.
But Shaw started it about 5 years ago. About 5 years ago, Shaw started out all night, and they had done pretty well with it. But since then, it's spread throughout the city, 8 other neighborhoods throughout the city, and 8th Street is one of those neighborhoods. And this year, we have about 15 venues on 8th Street, and there's a lot of venues taking place all across the city. But it's something that the mayor has adopted. She really loved it because we have a lot of artists here in DC. We have a lot of creators in DC, and this gives them a chance to really show what they are all about.
Right.
You know, you have to find a way to really express yourself, to relieve some of that pain, to relieve some of that frustration, and so folks what you all about. So, and art is really extensive. You know, you can go from clothing to shoes to makeup to nails to haircuts. You can be creative in so many different
Exactly.
venues. Spoken word. So, you know, we have go-go at the Starburst. Starburst. The Starburst is right by Heck and Jamal, that park they used to call K2 Park. Well, we didn't clean it
okay.
up. We cleaned K2 Park
Okay.
up. So now we have
They call it
tonight.
K2.
But they used to call it K2 Park, but you know,
my
that's where folks used to rest and just do their thing. But you know, we said we had to go over here and take this back, you know, from the
Right.
folks who doing the illegal transactions over there, and we did. And we cleaned it up. We put fencing up, and now the people respect us. And you know, in the summer we had the waterfall going. As long as we are funded, we can do these things. And we have
Exactly.
programmed it in the summer. We had farmers market there, some nighttime movies. But now, you know, today we have go-go.
Oh,
You know,
okay.
everything all night is going to be go-go. So people who like go-go, they can come and they can see DNA Band. They can see Sweat Band and Hot Cold Sweat.
Oh wow.
The Experience,
Hot cold sweat.
Horu, The Experience, and UCB.
Okay.
So UCB is going to close it out. And we're going from 7, so it's going on now, 7 until about 11, I think about 11:30,
Oh,
10:30,
okay.
11:30, about 11:30. So and then we have other venues along 8th Street. The streetcar, you know, we have the streetcar on 8th Street now, and I think it's a good thing. You know, it was originally supposed to have gone to Southeast Washington, D.C. Some people just shake their head, but you have to understand that in this economy, a lot of us afford cars. Cars break down.
Right.
Gas money is high.
It
You
just,
you get $50 every time you park your car illegally. It's a minimum of $50. So you park in a loading zone, you don't get $100. You park in a bus zone, you may get $200. So, you know, all that stuff adds up. And normally it affects people like us more than anybody else. We have a tendency of violating, you know, things like that more because we take risks. You know, so
Right.
it hit us more than anyone else. I call that our toll tax, you know, from living in D.C. You know, that's our toll tax. So,
Right.
you know, we have to find a way to basically deal with it. In the Southeast D.C., just think if all of us own cars and that type of stuff was going on, can we afford to get to work? And then when you get to work, you have to pay for a parking lot all day. You have to park on the street. You're talking about more tickets. So if you look at the streetcar, I think if it's built responsibly, in a responsible manner, and it can move from Southeast to the deepest part of Northwest, during the daytime right now, if you're in the deepest part of Southeast and you're going to Chevy Chase, D.C., it'll take you 2 hours in the morning during rush hour. Am I right? It'll take you about 2 hours.
If you know how to drive.
No, I'm saying not if you drive. If
Oh.
if you take public transportation, it'll take you about 2 hours. So, but if you can't afford to drive because you still have to pay parking and all, these parking lots don't cost $25 a day and stuff like. I mean, we can afford that. And so, if you have a responsible system, you had a streetcar that can run from Southeast to that portion at half the time. It'll really benefit us. And plus, it's cleaner where you don't have to worry about a lot of smog and fog and messing with your sinuses and your head and all the rest of the stuff. It's a cleaner ride. So those are the type of things we have to begin to look at. Those type of things just really mess with our brain. And so, you know, we really have to look at that and say, do we need a cleaner system? So that's how I look at the streetcar system. So I look at it a lot differently than other people. And the streetcar on A Street really helped us with the new development.
Okay.
Because a lot of buildings, the giant we have down there, the new development at the A Street connection, we wouldn't have these developments. You know, Heck and Jamal wouldn't be under contract right now if it wasn't for the streetcar.
Oh,
so you look at things like that. You know, the streetcar helped bring about a new economy, a strong economy, because you had that easier transportation, move people a lot around a lot more. But what have I noticed on the streetcar? Females drive the streetcar more than anybody else. And why they drive the streetcar? Because they have strollers. They have babies.
And it's
it's easier to get on and off.
You ain't got to close
So,
the stroller.
you know,
I get that.
females drive the streetcar more than anything else. Now, on A Street, if you look at the service-oriented business like the dentists and the printing companies, females frequent those businesses more than anybody else. If you look at the retail, females frequent retail establishments more than anyone else. You know, we may go to the bars as guys and we'll drink, but, you know, we still need some of y'all.
Get your hair cut.
So if you look at females are a large part of the A Street economy. And so what we did this year, we decided to honor females in the streetcar. So we have a streetcar, and every other streetcar, we have all female performers on the streetcar tonight. So if you have time, you can go on A Street tonight, and we have all female performers tonight. And so, you know, we have Janone and Joy and Zoe, who's a hip hop. We have Devon Young, who's a guitarist. We have a lot of artists tonight who are playing on the streetcar. They're all female. Now, if you're a male, you're not doing no lead. You may be backing up a female, because that's what we should do sometimes. You know, we have to back y'all up. I have no problem with that.
Yes.
So we have to back y'all up because,
Can you say that again for me?
as males, we have to really back y'all up. I mean, because, you know, without you guys, we wouldn't be here. And I tell people that all the time. You know, y'all are our first teachers and all the rest. So, you know, we have to really, you know, honor y'all, and we have to take our time and do that. And so we're doing that tonight, and we're going to honor females and on the streetcar. At the Atlas Performing Arts Center, we have hip hop going on tonight, and that's a rap. We have rap going on tonight in the Grand Hall. In the lab, we have DC Lab shorts, films. You know, we have a lot going on tonight for Art All Night. We have about 15 venues. We have one at Duffy's Irish Pub, which we have.
I like that.
Yeah,
I like that
we have Jelly Roll Motors. They doing sets at the from 7 to 9 tonight at Duffy's Irish Pub. At Solid State Books, you have comedy, you know, throughout the night, which I think again is good. The Capitol Hill Yoga. You know, if you want to deal with a glow party where music and yoga and movement collides. You know, so those are the type of things we're doing. We have an art gallery called Mahari's at 1311 8th Street, and they have a gallery there and showing some real nice work, local work. DC Framing, you have a gallery there called named Joseph Young. He grew up in the neighborhood, lived in the neighborhood, and he have his art and his photography. And he's saying, if H Street could talk. So you see a lot of what his expressions are all about and what he's seen and he's shot over the years, that you can look at pictures and you can see those pictures speak to you. In the H Street lot across at 1006 H Street, we have a silent party that's going on. Silent disco party. We have Eddie D. Douglas.
The thing where they put the
Right.
ear things.
We have drumming. We have party vibes. We all types of stuff going on. Anthology, which is real nice, the new apartment building over at 625 H Street. You know, we have a lot of art over there. Guys selling guitars, the creative guitars. You have vocal bands. You have a cappella singers there, and a lot of get a chance to see the how diverse the arts community really is, and how creative our folks in this community really is.
Okay, now I know that next week is H Street Day, right?
That's my baby.
Now, tell me I pretty much know the difference, but tell the people out here between what's going on tonight to what's going on next week.
Well, the night is more of a night event. It's a night festival. It goes from 7 to 3 o'clock, or 7 to 2 o'clock in our case, along the quarter. So everything is at night, and we try to bring folks out in the light, in the dark, and turn the lights on in the dark. And we really try to make it happen.
Now, are the streets blocked off today?
The streets are not blocked off today. Okay. It's from, most of the venues are indoors except for the Starburst and 1006 H Street. Okay. Those are the two outdoor venues, but everything else is on the inside.
But now H Street it will be.
H Street Festival, everything is outdoors, free to the public. It's basically about 11 blocks long from 3rd Street to 14th Street. Again, you have over 150,000 people. We have 14 stages.
Right.
And you name it. I mean, the New Soul Searchers, L.A. Young. L.A. Young is a phenomenal talent. She sings and sounds just like Phyllis Hyman.
Wow.
And believe me, she's going to turn that stage out.
Oh, yes.
This Saturday coming up. So, you have Kim and Scooby who are going to perform. So, again, you have a lot of great artists from D.C. who have their talent that we have to really stand up and honor, those expressions.
Yeah, because I've gone to the H Street. I know last year you all had to change it because of the hurricane.
And there was no hurricane.
Praise the Lord. I know it was
we chose
hurricane.
We chose a good day.
We chose a good day. It worked out good for me because I had stuff to do.
We really should have called the festival in October. We should have changed the name to Oktoberfest. We sold a whole lot of beer.
Oh my
God. I said, boy, I know people drink this much in October. They don't drink that much in September. Maybe it's too hot out there. October, they down some.
October is better. Like the end of September, the more you push it a little closer to October, because I know one year it was so hot. I was like, for real, I didn't even go. I did a few places and I went to Elroy's and I just sat. Because it's too hot.
What about when we had our only rain about 3-4 years ago, and I looked up and I think it was the Blackbirds was playing on the stage, and I'm like, people just standing all outside in the rain. I said, these people not going home, man.
I'm not doing that.
I thought we was gonna close the festival down early. These folks were standing up in the rain. They still selling clothes and all the other music still playing. I'm like, man, this is something else.
If you're a true vendor or you're a true seller or you're about making that money, you have to
withstand the elements.
Yeah,
as simple as that.
You
have to withstand the elements. And one thing that we can say that on H Street, that vendors come out and they never complain about the cost. They never complain that they can't make money. So with 150,000 people out there, if you don't make money, I'm gonna say it this way: it's your fault.
Right.
You bought the wrong product. Something was wrong. You must have bought something out there that you wanted and nobody else did.
Right, and I like one thing. A lot of the vendors now have Cash App, so that makes it even quicker. How much? Ding, send it. Bam, I'm done.
That's right.
I love that. So okay, you have about 10 more minutes. Get into H Street. Tell us all what's going on. How much is it? A fee? What time it starts? What time it ends?
Well, you have to go to www.hstreetfestival.org to look at the fees. I can't remember all the stuff on the top of my head because there's so many components to it. We have the H Street fees, we have sponsorship fees, then we have the vendors and non-food vendors fees and so forth. So I can't remember all of this.
Okay.
But the bottom line is, you spend your money, you're gonna make some money.
So do you have to pay to get onto H Street?
You have to pay to play. The city charges us about $180,000. in fees. The police department costs us
Lord.
about a little over $100,000, and then we have to pay for the street
And the police
the
officers
police
and
officers. We have to
things
pay for the stages and the sound systems and the music, and then we always give our artists money. We give them a stipend. We don't give them a stipend, but we give them a stipend. So we always, we're not asking anyone to play for us for free. We give you a stipend.
Okay.
So that's one thing that we
That's
do.
good to know.
What I'm more disappointed in, and I'm gonna call them out, is people like Whole Food. Whole Food come down on 8th Street and they reap our benefit. They reap the benefit of the hard work that we have done. And they say they want to come back to the neighborhood and they want to give back to the neighborhood. But when it come time for the festival and large event, they don't give us nothing. Listen to me. They don't give us a dime. They don't sponsor. They don't do nothing. They don't call on their vendors to come out to support what we are doing. And I think it's a shame. One year they offered us $500. We gave it back. So my mother always told me, honor the womb that bore you.
Right.
When somebody builds something up and they put it out there for you, respect them. Now these developers and these guys, these store owners, and you can't tell me that Amazon and Whole Food don't have some money that at least give back.
Exactly.
Now that store make about $60,000 a day.
They get a lot of my money.
And my money. And we can't get them to support a festival like 8th Street.
That's crazy.
And it's really sad.
Well, you hear that people who go to Whole Foods.
And the same thing with Starbucks. Starbucks claim that they really support the community. They support Gallaudet, and we spend a lot of money on Starbucks. And I'm gonna tell you what happened with Starbucks a few years ago. Starbucks did the 8th Street Festival. They sold out of everything they had that Saturday. When they opened their doors on Sunday, the only thing they had to sell was drinks because they have nothing else. But yet they can't sponsor the 8th Street Festival. I think that's sad.
Crazy.
That is really sad. And I think that we need the public to stand up and tell these folks if they're going to give back where they should give back.
Exactly.
We help making this neighborhood what it is. We help grow the neighborhood. Like I said again, that we have attracted over $2.5 billion worth of economic development here. We have created a lot of jobs. So at least work with us. Be a partner with us. Let's make some things happen together. And let's show folks how we can do things differently. And I think that, in Whole Food case, Whole Food have a lot of vendors. They have a lot of vendors, and I guarantee you if they tap into those vendors will come and sponsor HG. They don't have to come out of their pocket because that's how Whole Food is. That's how Amazon is to a certain degree.
Well, maybe, I don't know whether you've ever gone to get sponsors, but if right there where Costco's is in D.C.,
right.
Where there's a beer place, have you ever gone in there for sponsors?
They did 1 year. They did 1 year.
You got to go all
1
the
year.
time.
Yeah.
Now, I have a nonprofit, and anytime I've given them, a paper, I get at least 1 or 2 beers to sponsor me. So
okay.
You may want to hit those particular places up. Now, how about like Ross and Modell's and
not Modell Sports, but Modell Beer sponsored the Face Festival a couple of years ago.
Okay.
Modelo Beer, they did sponsor.
No, not Modelo. Yeah. Modell.
Oh, Modell Sports, they have never done it. Ross have never done it. Safeway, I've reached out to Safeway for many years. Safeway have never done the HG Festival. CVS did it 1 year, and we really wanted them to come back to help with blood pressure and taking people health. I wanted them and the Kaiser to do something together, and it just haven't happened. So we try to do some real creative things to bring these folks out to the community, but maybe I'm the wrong persuasion and going to those folks. Maybe that's what's going on. I don't know what it is. I'm trying to figure out what it is.
Yeah, you got to be a little more.
I'm trying to figure out what it is, but I hope I'm wrong at that. Because we should be out here for everybody.
Right.
Because I know I am. I know I am.
Right.
I might spend a little bit more time with folks who are more disadvantaged because they need it the most. But still, I'm out here for everybody.
Well, I want you to elaborate a little bit more about tonight, a little bit more about 8th Street. Make sure that you give people your email, telephone, whatever you want people to know so that they can reach out to you. Okay.
Please go to, if you want any information about 8th Street Main Street and what we're doing on the 8th Street corridor, you can go to www.8thstreet.org. Spell street out, www.8thstreet.org.
Okay.
Our phone number is 202-543-0161. And you can call us anytime. If you want to contact me, you can contact me at anwar.salim@8thstreet.org. That's anwar.SALEEM@8thstreet.org. And we're always willing to help. We provide our businesses with technical assistance. Anyone who want to come to 8th Street, we really do what we can to assist them. Okay. We get ready to have, my understanding, Milk and Honey coming to 8th Street. We have Kitchen Cray coming to 8th Street, which is right down the street. And we're going to have some really other good
Right,
businesses.
right.
So we need a collection that showcase everyone,
Okay.
and that's what it's all about.
And just one question, because I was talking about this to somebody else. Now, do you all do anything particular for people who are coming out of jail?
Yeah, we do. No,
Okay, what do you?
my clean team. We have a clean team, and we basically clean H Street, Blakenberry Road, and Benning.
Okay.
And the people you see in those blue uniforms
Okay.
with the yellow vest, they would basically come out of prison,
Oh
or they may have
wow.
been on drugs, they may have been
Okay.
homeless. And those are
Ooh.
guys that we train and we
Okay.
hire to clean the streets. So
Okay. Okay.
those are the type of things that we do. And some of the businesses, I have to take my hat off to them. When they matured and they graduated from that level, some of the businesses have really hired
Wow.
the people who are homeless.
And so you need
And
to tell people that, because I know that they got power
employment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For people who have just come out. But see, now I would never have known unless I asked. So now I know, and then that's something else that I would like
Well,
for you to elaborate
you
a
know,
little
the,
bit.
the power really is not should be with some of these other organizations like that. We should have the power to do it ourselves. Because if we do it ourselves and we hire folks ourselves, I think that's a lot more powerful, and they feel more akin to what we trying to do in our neighborhoods and embracing them.
Right.
You know, and that's the same thing with our summer youth. You know, this year, we basically trained and hired 86 summer youth.
For just
And
H Street.
For H Street. What we
wow.
did, we actually bring them in, and we part of the Mayor Summer Youth Program. And what we do, we train them in financial literacy, peer mediation, customer service, and conflict resolution.
Okay.
And so we train these kids, and then we place them in different businesses
Okay.
so they can get some business
Now
experience.
you work with them
So,
on keeping them pants up and
we
things of that
we talked to
nature.
them about that. We talked to them about presentation. Now,
goodness.
believe it or not, some of these same kids got jobs, and we got a couple that did get jobs in Whole Foods,
Oh.
Ben's Chili Bowl, and Starbucks, and a few others. They did get some jobs there,
Okay.
and some of our businesses do hold on to some of these kids. So,
Good.
we want them to have decent work experience. We want them to build a resume before they come out of high school.
Right.
And if they can, and they have good grades, we also want them to have a job on the weekends, that they can be employed on weekends.
Okay.
So our kids want a lot. They want the new tennis shoes, they want the jeans and the T-shirts and the hoodies and all the rest. So the moms, it's stressful out here to really go in your pocket and pull that type of money out to support kids now. So kids have to work for their keep sometimes.
Exactly. And then you have kids having kids. So to me, a lot of them don't know how to put on clothes.
Yeah.
A lot of them don't know it. Oh my God, my pants are out. What do I do? They just roll them up or put big pins in them. And I really feel that if somebody starts working with these kids,
Well,
teaching them how to put their clothes on.
That's something we do. We do that during the summer.
Okay.
And that's it. When you tell them customer service and all, those are type things we
Okay.
do. Your presentation, how to do an interview.
Yes.
Those are the type things we take our summer youth, our summer interns to. So, if you ever have any children that you want to go through our program, you can always go through the summer youth program and tell them that you want to come to 8th Street, Main Street. So I
Okay.
want to come to 8th Street, Main Street because I like what they're about. And we're going to train them. And believe me,
Okay.
you can come down there and check on us, and we'll show you basically what we are doing. So, our thing is, it would say each one pull one up. We have to do it. If you can pull 5 up, pull them up. And, if you can tap them on the back and straighten them right, let's do that. But we have to speak up. It's our community, it's our business, and it's some people say it's our hut. It's our hut, it's our business. So we have to find a way to embrace our kids because they are our future, and sooner or later they're gonna take the reign and take us to another level. When they're not,
Wow.
they're gonna be there doing it.
Well, I've learned a lot today. I really appreciate you coming and giving me your time. I know you have to get back to 8th Street. I just want to let everybody know that if they have a business or you thinking about doing a business or you would just like to just try yourself out on my radio show, Late Night Whispers, you can find me on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. My number is 202-510-2199. Late Night Whispers @gmail.com. I'm Coco, and I appreciate you coming today. And have a good night, everybody. Mwah.
Thank you.